Well, welcome to the grey skies that have hung over this Barcelona circuit all day today, the first day of the final pre-season winter test, and a lot of rain fell, a lot of laps on the track too, but it was mostly the drivers familiarising themselves with those wet and intermediate tyres. Quickest on the day though, despite all the rain, was Mark Webber in the Red Bull with an impressive time of 1.2269. It was a whole second and a half, over a second and a half quicker than the second fastest man, Lewis Hamilton, in the Mercedes with a 1:24.34. Lewis Hamilton though saying he's happier with the car, and he's managed to get a race simulation in today as well. One more day in the car for those two drivers before they go to Melbourne. Jean-Eric Vergne in the Toro Rosso. The Toro Rosso is back up there towards the top again. It's been performing well, this Toro Rosso. 59 laps though for him today. And the surprise on that sheet surely is Romain Grosjean there at the bottom. He said they were doing all sort of setup work today and looking at the settings in the car. We'll hear from him later on just why that car was over 12 seconds off the pace and they only managed to do 52 laps. But here with the rest of the story of the day, the drivers themselves.
So Mark, tell us about today. Was the wind as much a problem as it felt for us standing around the track?
Yeah, it was pretty heavy, I must say. Big tailwind down to turn one. So, and then in other sections of the track, yeah, it's pretty gusty. So, yeah, it's not trivial, the level of wind. But, you know, it was tricky enough as it was on the greasy conditions all day. We got 1 hour at the end on half sensible conditions. So, obviously we had to look at through different compounds and got a little bit more testing done. So the thing is, when it's like that, you're either doing longish runs or you're doing some shorter runs to have a look at some performance, let's say. So I think that we opted to throw a few sets of tyres on at the end and see how the car went. Yeah, and that went okay. So yeah, we've got still work to do. That was the most we get, I suppose, out of a short, limited program at the end in dry conditions.
Okay, but some people are sort of questioning whether Red Bull are actually as strong as they were last year. Can you tell us either way whether you are or aren't?
Oh, look, we've seen some very quick lap times from other cars, you know, so yeah, we've got work to do. We're working as hard as we can. We know that there's some very, very strong teams out there, and yeah, we focus as much as we can on ourselves, but you want to also understand sometimes what the other guys are doing and having a little look at where you might compare. And in general, we know there's some fast cars out there, and we're not, we're not on our own, that's for sure, out front.
Lewis, how would you sum up your day today? Managed to get a race simulation in, but in difficult conditions.
Has been difficult conditions today, but it dried up later on, and we got some good running. It was a good race simulation, and just really happy that we're making progress moving forward. The guys are doing a fantastic job back at the factory, so I'm really happy.
You talked about wanting to get more downforce from the car. Have they been able to achieve that yet?
We'll find out in the next couple of days. I'm pretty sure they have. So, as I said, I'm really happy that they're making steps forward. I think either tomorrow or Saturday, we'll put some upgrades on the car, as everyone will, and really looking forward to seeing that. That's always like the most exciting couple of days of the pre-season testing, because that's when we get the full package.
And just finally, can you see where you are in the field yet at the moment? They say that everyone brings their specs from Melbourne here, maybe some packages to arrive later in the weekend, but have you got an idea of roughly where you are in the field?
I honestly don't, because everyone's just on different fuel loads. Sometimes we're on 100 kilos, sometimes we're on 150 kilos, sometimes 110, sometimes 70, so you never know what other people are doing, and so we just have to really wait and see.
Felipe, I'm sure this weather isn't what you may have wanted. Is it still worthwhile doing some running? What can you learn?
Well, actually, the weather is not helping a lot. We're trying to do as many we can, even in this difficult weather. I'm gonna do the race now, race simulation. For sure, it's not the same as on the dry to try all different types of tires, to see how the car behaves on the long run and everything. We're gonna do that with the rain tires. So anyway, I hope can be interesting also to put some mileage on the car, and maybe even tomorrow is not great weather, and I think the last 2 days should be better, so we can do everything again in the dry condition and try all the pieces and everything we need. So it's like that. We need to try to do as much as possible to have some ideas even in a difficult condition.
Okay, so maybe the team won't be putting all the new pieces on today, but they'll come for your last day in a couple of days' time when you'll maybe do another race simulation.
Yeah, today we have very little things in the car, so tomorrow is coming another few things, and for the last 2 days we should have most of the pieces we have to try here. So, but anyway, in this condition, I don't think you can check and learn even putting pieces on the car. So we'll wait and see for the last 2 days if we can have a proper idea about everything, and I hope everything is working to make the car more competitive.
I think essentially conditions were obviously much worse than we expected. Should I say it was forecast to be windy and how much we're going to take from it, but it rained most of the day, which we weren't set up for. But I think thankfully we got some running, got a bit of an idea of where we should go had we been hit with some rain for the start of a race. And essentially I think we got a bonus run at the end in the dry just to check something ahead of Saturday and Sunday. I think when we get into some proper running in better weather again.
Have you got many upgrades to come for the weekend?
There's things slowly going on in the car, but essentially I think this is the car that we'll be racing in Melbourne, what we arrived here with. We're looking to maximise what we can from that. I think that's something we did last year. Rather than getting carried away with upgrades coming, let's understand the package we've got and slowly but surely introduce things that are going to benefit it in the right way.
Those wets and intermediates that were used today, the same compounds as last year, did that help you at all in terms of comparing the cars?
They're quite different in terms of construction, I think, from what we believe, but essentially the compounds are the same. The tyre is working different with these cold conditions. It's unlikely that you'd race at 5 degrees and the way it is, and the tyres were quite difficult to understand, I think. Quite a big variation in lap times. Not really sure where we were in that, but essentially we worked through the programme, and I think like everybody done. But if you take where our car was at the end of last year in the rain, I think hopefully if it rained at a Grand Prix we'd be quite strong.
And just finally, compared to the car you left the end of testing with last year, where do you think you are in comparison to that 2012 car?
I think we're further forward at this point than where we were last year, so I think that's the positive to take, but fully focused on making it faster, because essentially we've still got 3 days ahead of ourselves before we get the car, before it gets shipped to Melbourne. That's when it counts, and that's where we need to arrive in good shape and likely to pounce upon the attack for our midfield competitors.
Sorry, there is one more from me just about your new teammate as well. Adrian Sittle finally announced today. Is it nice to have that sorted now and settled? And what do you hope with him in the team? A competitive edge for you yet again?
It's nice for all the media not to keep asking me. But no, listen, welcome Adrian back. I said, whoever the team choose, I'd be very supportive. Jugs was close to us as well, and you've got to feel a little bit sorry for where he is. But no, I think Adrian, we've worked well together. We're good friends. We'll work our way together. We'll push the team on. The board have taken the decision he's the right person that they want to represent Sahara Force India, and a good relationship will start from where it left off in 2011. And at the end of the day, it is competitive, and I want to come out on top of him.
I'm very happy, yeah. I'm very happy that I could do the comeback. It was a difficult one. I had to wait very long, and last year I saw it gonna be difficult, and it's just a very different year I had at home, but a very good year. I think for myself, I could learn a lot more outside of racing. I could see the life goes on without racing as well, so it just strengthened my position, and very happy now to get the second chance, and I will take that better than ever. So I have clear goals, I'm refreshed and full of energy. I want to go forward.
Were there times when you thought you might never race in Formula One again?
It was a time, maybe, but I'm an optimistic person, so I'm always positive, and I think if you want something and you work hard for it, you will get it, and that's my view of the whole life. Whatever you do, if you go in different businesses, even if you have no idea about it, you create yourself into this business, you learn about it, and then you can do whatever you want. It's the same here, and that's my goal. I'll just make it because I want it.
Do you know what the hold-up was, or why it took so long in the end for you to be named as the driver?
I don't really know. No, it took a long time. Maybe it's because just business related. I don't know. So you better ask the management. They will have an answer for you for sure.
And are there, just finally, are all the visa issues cleared up? There's no problems with any of the races or the countries they're in?
No, there are no problems. So I sorted everything out, and of course organized all the visas, and I'm ready to race and ready to travel.
Sergio, can I ask you got in 100 laps today, so plenty of running. How would you sum up your day though in some difficult conditions?
I think very good, very positive day. I mean, obviously they are not the ideal conditions that you would like to have, but it's what we had today, and in the end we managed to do quite a good work for good information. So in that respect, very happy.
What were you able to learn that you maybe didn't already know before you came today?
Well, basically about the tires and about the car in the wet. It was very important for me to have a test with wet conditions because obviously I'm in a new car, tires are different, so it was very important to get a good read through the tires and obviously to the car.
And you've got one more day in the car, just 7 more hours of running at most before you take to the track in Melbourne. How are you feeling with your new car?
Very good. I hope in the last day, because we have updates, I can go out and do good running. It will be very important and crucial that I get good running in my last day. But if it doesn't come, then it didn't. But my aim is to definitely go and fight for the win in Melbourne.
Roman, we saw a spin this morning from you, but can you tell us how difficult conditions were today out there?
Yeah, they were tough, especially in the morning. We knew we were going to try something which may be tricky at the end. First thing in the morning, there's some starts and then tires get cold and more every lap. And the in lap, I just maybe a little bit less focused and just spin the car, couldn't get it back. But okay, then we went to our stand-up program. We had a lot of water at one point. We had a decent condition to run inters at another point, but when you have so little test, that's not what you want for driving.
And the programme you were doing today, I mean, the Lotus has gone from top of the timesheets in previous tests to sort of 12 seconds off the pace today. Is that because you were doing other things, or is there a problem there?
No, there was no problem. We just, when the track dries, basically we went to a programme that we had scheduled, and the team needed it. So yeah, it's not good in terms of driving of performance, but at least we have some answers on a few things, and hopefully I will have some dry running before Melbourne.
So we've heard from the rest. Let's hear finally from Esteban Gutierrez. Esteban, how was today for you?
Well, it was a day that we managed to do a lot of laps. Very difficult conditions, very variable, but in the end I think it's positive. We used the time to work a little bit on the wet tires, as well on the intermediate tires, which for us, I mean, it's a bit of a problem, but we used this time to try to find a solution, and we managed to improve somehow, not sufficiently, but in a good way. So I think also for my driving and for my experience, it was very good.
The interruptions today, how difficult did it make your day, and how much did you have to change your plan?
Well, of course, the plan, I mean, you make 2 plans. You make one plan for the dry, completely dry, and you make one plan in case it's wet. And definitely we had to run the wet one, which is very variable all the time, because you will never have a consistent track when it's wet. Even though it's raining or not, it's always changing. So basically, I mean, you go minute by minute, trying to get the most from that time, and adjusting and being flexible.
And in terms of your happiness with the car today, I mean, you obviously learned a lot about it in the wet. You're going to have a day in the dry, hopefully, on Saturday in the car. Was there a lot you were able to learn today, though, despite that?
Yeah, from my point of view, I think from the driver point of view, it's very good. I mean, for me, considering I'm a rookie, it's great for my confidence with the car to drive in this condition, because it's the most tricky condition. So basically, I mean, to get the confidence to push in this condition, and also to find temperature on the tires and all of these things, it's very important. I think it's going to be very helpful.
Will you have upgrades on the car for Saturday's run?
Well, I mean, of course we try to get everything together, but I mean, we will see how the weather goes on.
And how are you feeling? You've got 7 hours left in the car before that first race in Melbourne. How are you feeling right now?
Well, I'm very happy. I mean, the team is doing a great job, and we feel very comfortable to each other. There's a very great communication, and this is, starting with the right foot.
Thanks very much, Esteban. Thank you. So that's it. That's the last driver interview for today. Day 1 of that final pre-season test, affected by rain, and it looks like there'll be more of the same tomorrow. But don't forget, you'll get your updates on Sky Sports News, and we'll bring you a roundup on Sky Sports F1 HD.